Chapter 5, The Best Way to Start a New Habit. In 2001, researchers in Great Britain began working with 248 people to build better exercise habits over the course of 2 weeks. The subjects were divided into three groups. The first group was a control group. They were simply asked to track how often they exercised. The second group was the motivation group. They were asked not to only to track their workout but also to read some material on benefits of exercise. The researchers also explained to group how exercise could reduce the risk of coronary heart disease and improve heart health. Finally, there was the third group. These subjects were received as the same presentation as the second group, which ensured that they had equal levels of motivation. However, they were also asked to formulate a plan for when and where they would exercise over the following weeks. Specifically, each member of the third group completed the following sentence during the next week. I will partake in at least 20 minutes of vigorous exercise on day at time in place. In the first and second groups of 35 to 38% people exercised at least once per week. Interestingly, the motivational representation given to the second group seemed to have no meaningful impact on the behavior, but 91% of the third group exercised at least once per week, more than double the normal rate. The sentence they filled out is what researchers refer to as an implementation intention, which is plan you make beforehand about and where to act. That is how you intend to implement a particular habit. The cues that can trigger a habit come in a wide range of forms: the feel of your phone buzzing in your pocket, the smell of the chocolate chip cookies, the sound of ambulance sirens. But on the two most common cues are time and location. Implementation intentions leverage of both of these cues. Broadly speaking, the format of creating an implementation intention is: when situation X arises, I will perform response Y. Hundreds of studies have shown that implementation intentions are effective for sticking to our goals, whether it's writing down the exact time and date of when you will get the flu shot or recording time of your colonoscopy appointment. They increase the odds that people will stick with the habits like recycling, studying, going to sleep early, and stop smoking. Researchers have even found that voter turnout increasing people are forced to create implementation intention by answering questions like what route are like you're taking the polling station, at what time you are planning to go, what bus will you get there. Other successful government programs before have prompted citizens to make a clear plan, sending taxes in on time, and providing directions on when where to pay late traffic bills. The punchline is clear. People who make specific plan for and when where they will perform a new habit are more likely to follow through. Too many people try to change their habits without these basic details figured out. We tell ourselves I'm going to eat healthier or I'm going to write more, but we never say where and where these habits are going to happen. We leave it a chance and hope we will just remember to do it or feel motivated at the right time. And implementation of intention sweeps away foggy notions like I want to work out more, or I want to be more productive, or I should vote, and transform them into concrete plan of action. Many people think they lack motivation when what they really lack is clarity. It is all not always obvious when and where to take action. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for the time to be right to make an improvement. Once an implementation intention has been set, you don't have to wait for inspirations to strike. Do I write a chapter today or not? Do I meditate this morning or at lunch? When the moment of action occurs, there is no need to make a decision. Simply follow your predetermined plan. The simple way to apply this strategy to your habits is to fill out this sentence: I will behavior at time in location. Meditation. I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. Studying. I will study Spanish for 20 minutes at 6 p.m. in my bedroom. Exercise. I will exercise for 1 hour at 5 p.m. in my local gym. Marriage. I will make my partner a cup of tea at 8 a.m. in the kitchen. If you are not sure when you to start your habit, try to the first day for the week, month, or year. People are more likely to take action at those times because hope is usually higher. If we hope we have a reason to take action. A fresh start feels motivating. There is another benefit of implementation intentions. Being specific about what you want and how you will achieve it helps you to say no to things that derail progress, distract your attention, and pull you off a course. We often say yes to little requests because we are not clear enough about what we need to be doing instead. When your dreams are vague, it's easy to rationalize little expectations all day long and never get around to the specific things you need to succeed. Give your habits time and space to live in the world. The goal is to make the time and location so obvious that with enough repetition, you get an urge to do the right thing and the right time, even if you can't say why. As the writer Jason Sweeks noted, obviously, you are never going to just work out with conscious thought, but like a dog salivating at a bell, maybe you start getting antsy around the time of the day you normally work out. There are many ways to use implementation intentions in your life and work. My favorite approach is one I learned from Stanford professional Sir BJ Fogg, and it's a strategy I refer as habit stacking. Habit stacking, a simple plan to overhaul your habits. The French philosopher Denis Diderot lived nearly his entire life in poverty, but that all changed one day in 1765. Diderot's daughter was about to be married, and he could not afford to pay for the wedding. Despite his lack of wealth, Diderot was well known for his role as the co-founder and writer of Encyclopedia, one of the most comprehensive encyclopedias of the time. When Catherine the Great, Empress of Russia, heard of Diderot's financial troubles, her heart went out of him. She was a book lover and greatly enjoyed his encyclopedia. She offered to buy Diderot's personal library for $1,000 more than $150,000 today. Suddenly, Darrett had money to spare. With his new wealth, he not only paid the wedding but also acquired a scarlet robe for himself. Darrett's scarlet robe was beautiful, so beautiful in fact that he immediately noticed how out of place it seemed when surrounded by his more common possessions. He wrote that there was no more coordination, no more unity, no more beauty between his elegant robe and the rest of his stuff. Diodot soon felt the urge to upgrade his possession. He replaced his rug with one of the most Damascus. He decorated his home with expensive sculptures. He bought a mirror to place the above mantel and better kitchen table. He tossed aside his screw old straw chair for a leather one, like falling dominoes. One purchase led to the next. Theories behavior is not uncommon. In fact, the tendency for one purchase to lead to another one has a name. Diorite effect. The Diodor effect states that obtaining a new possession often creates a spiral of consumption that leads to additional purchases. You can spot this pattern everywhere. You buy a dress, you have to get new shares and earring to match. You buy a couch and suddenly question the layout of your entire living room. You buy a toy for your children and soon find yourself purchasing all the accessories that go with it. It's chain reactions of purchases. Many human behaviors follow this cycle. You often decide what to do next based on what you have just finished doing. Going to bathroom leads to washing and drying your hands, which reminds you that you need to put the dirty towels in the laundry. So you add your laundry detergents, so you shopping list, and so on. No behavior happens in insulation isolation. Each action becomes a cue that triggers the next behavior. Why is this important? When it comes to building new habits, you can use the connectedness of behavior to your advantage. One of the best ways to build a new habit is to identify a current habit you already do each day and then you stack your habit on top. This is called habit stacking. Habits taking its special form of implementation intention rather than pairing your new habit with a particular time location, you pair it with the current habit. This method, which was created by BJ Fogg as a part of his tiny habit program, can be used to design an obvious cue for naturally any habit. The habit stacking formula is after current habit, I will new habit. For example, meditation. After I pour my cup of coffee each morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. Exercise. After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. Gratitude. After I sit down to dinner, I will say one thing I'm grateful for that had happened today. Marriage. After I get into the bed at night, I'll give my partner a kiss. Safety. After I put on my running shoes, I'll text a friend or family member where I'm running and how long it will take. The key is to tie your desired behavior into something you already do each day. Once you have mastered this basic structure, you can begin to create larger stacks by chaining some small habits together. This will allows you to take advantage of the natural momentum that comes from one's behavior leading to the next and positive version of dot effect. Your morning routine habit stack might look like this. After I pour my morning cup of coffee, I will meditate for 60 seconds. After I meditate for 60 seconds, I will write my to do list for the day. After I write my to do list for the day, I'll immediately begin my first task or consider this habit in stack in evening. After I finish my eating dinner, I will put my plate directly into the dishwater. Second, after I put my dishes away, I will immediately wipe down the counter. After I wipe down the counter, I will set out my coffee mug for tomorrow morning. You can also insert a new behavior into the middle of your current routines. For example, you may have already have a morning routine that looks like this. Wake up, make my bed, take my shower. Let's say want to develop the habit of reading more each night. You can expand your habit stack and something like wake up, make your bed, place a book on my pillow, and take a shower. Now, when you climb into bed each night, your book will be sitting there waiting for you to enjoy. Overall, habit stacking allows you to create a set of simple rules that guide your future behavior. It's like you always have a game plan for which action should come next. Once you get comfortable with this approach, you can develop general habit stack to guide whenever the situation is appropriate. Exercise. When I see set of stairs, I will take them instead of using the elevator. Social skills. When I walk into a party, I will introduce myself to someone I don't know yet. Finances. When I want to buy something over $100, I will wait 24 hours before purchasing. Healthy eating. When I serve myself a meal, I will always put veggies on my plate first. Minimalism. When I buy a new item, I will give something away. One in, one out mood. When the phone rings, I will take one deep breath and smile before answering. Forgetfulness. When I leave public place, I'll check the table and chairs to make sure I don't leave anything behind. No matter how you use this strategy, the secret is to create successful habit stacking or selecting the right cue to kick things off. Unlike an implementation intention, which specifically states the time, location for a given behavior, habit stacking implicitly has the time and location built into it. When and where you choose to insert a habit into a daily routine can make a big difference. If you are trying to add a meditation into your daily morning routine, but morning are chaotic and your kids keep running into the room, then they might maybe the wrong place and time. Consider when you are most likely to be successful. Don't ask us for yourself to do a habit when you are likely to be occupied with something else. Your cue should also have same frequency as your desired habit. If you want to do a habit every day but you stack it on the top of the habit that only happens on Mondays, then it's not a good choice. One way to find right trigger for a habit is my brainstorming a list of your current habits. If you can use your habit scorecard from last chapter as the starting point. Alternatively, you can create a list of with two columns. In first column, write down the habits you do each day without fail. For example, get out of the bed, take a shower, brush your teeth, get dressed, brew a cup of coffee, eat breakfast, take the kids to school, start the work daily, eat lunch, end the work day, change out of work clothes, sit down for dinner, turn off the lights of bed, get into bed. You can list can be much longer, but you can get the idea. In the second column, write down all the things that happen each day without fail. For example, the sun rises, you get a text message. The sun song you are listening to ends, the sun sets. Armed with these two lists, you can imagine searching for a best place to layer your new habit in your lifestyle. Habit stacking works best when the cue is highly specific and immediately actionable. Many people select cues that are too vague and made this mistake myself. When I wanted to start a push up habit, my ups that at first glance sounded reasonable. but soon I realized the trigger was unclear. Would I do my push ups before I ate lunch? After I ate lunch, where would I do them? When would I do them? After a few inconsistent days, I changed my habit stack to when I close my laptop for lunch, I will do 10 push ups next to my desktop. The ambiguity gone. Habits like read more and eat better are worthy causes, but these goals do not provide instructions on how and when to act. Be specific and clear about after I close door, after I brush my teeth, after I sit down the table. The specific is moment. The more tightly bound your new habit is to a specific cue, the better the odds are that you will notice when the time comes to act. The first law of behavior change is to make it obvious. Strategies like implementation, intention, and habit stacking are most among the most practical ways to create obvious cues for your behavior or habits. Design a clear plan for when and where to take action. Chapter summary. The first law of behavior challenge change is make it obvious. The two most common cues are time and location. Creating an implementation intention is strategy you can use to pair a new habit with a specific time and location. The implementation intention formula is I will behavior at time in location. Habit stacking is a strategy you can use to pair a new habit with a current habit. The habit stacking formula is after current habit, I will have new habit.